Hi everybody. Hi, happy Sunday, happy Easter. Happy Easter. I'll let you guys start coming on. It's the second part of that self-care live show that I did, right? So it's self-care. How do you incorporate all of the healthy lifestyle hacks without costing a ton of money, you know, or costing a ton of time? So I'll let you guys start coming on. Hi, Elizabeth. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Hello, hello. Woo. Sometimes life happens, you make plans and life happens. That's why it's so important to get in all of the lifestyle hacks first. Hi, for craft's sake. Okay, everybody, is there any questions about yesterday's show? Because it was packed, absolutely packed. And I'm gonna do like a brief kind of summary of what I talked about yesterday. And this is really about how do you incorporate the healthy aging lifestyle hacks, such as early morning sunlight and grounding and meditation and exercise and all of that stuff with, you know, only having 24 hours in a day. How do you make that part of your daily healthy aging ritual? So that's kind of, somebody just said, I really enjoyed yesterday's show. Great, thanks so much, Beth. Well, most of the stuff that I do, I wouldn't say most of it, but there's a lot of heavy hitters in the morning in terms of the lifestyle hacks that I do that help you look and feel and function your best at every age. And a lot of those I try to do first thing in the morning because life happens like it did today and kind of will throw you off your game plan. So if you can get that stuff done really early in the morning, I appreciate all the shares and the hearts, and thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate you being here. It's Easter, and I know that there's a lot of choices on where you could be today, so the fact that you guys are here on this live show means a lot to me, so thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to just briefly go over, just as quickly as I possibly can, what we talked about yesterday. So if we're talking about how to incorporate healthy aging hacks into our daily life with literally no money and no extra time, it's how do you integrate what you're already doing and how do you make those choices to multitask and compound those healthy aging lifestyle hacks so that you're not like spending all day, you know, doing some self-care, which I've been accused of, which doesn't happen. I'm just super, super strategic about it. So to recap yesterday, my self-care routine to incorporate daily without extra time. We all have the same 24 hours. You guys, everyone has the same 24 hours. It's just about prioritizing self-care and how do you utilize those 24 hours. Hi, Christine. Hi, Germany. So I talked about first thing in the morning, you've got that choice, right? You can come down, grab your cup of coffee, sit here, you know, try to eat something. I have my cup of coffee. I have my coffee with my dad when I went to Africa with my dad. Took my dad to Africa, and he gave me this coffee cup. So you can sit here and you can make your coffee and put your cream and sugar in it and kind of try to wake yourself up with your caffeine, but that's not what's healthiest for your body. So just to recap really quickly from yesterday before I move on to lunch. So what I did yesterday was I talked about all the morning stuff that I do without adding time. In fact, it shortens your time without adding time or money, you know, so we can talk about that very quickly. Well, the first thing that you do, what I do is I get that morning sunlight on my eyes. So instead of coming here and drinking my coffee and trying to wake up chemically, I step outside and I get those low level horizon lights right in the UV lights, right in the bottom receptors of the eyes. What that does is it immediately stops the production of melatonin, that sleep hormone. So it kind of disrupts that and it sets that sleep-wake cycle. So morning light first thing in those photoreceptors blocks melatonin. Drink a glass of water. Before you drink a cup of coffee, you've just gone 8 hours, hopefully, of sleeping. Drink a glass of water, okay? First thing. Delay your intake of your caffeine for a little bit. If you can, delay it a little bit and have your body naturally wake itself up. And that starts with that early morning light that we talked about yesterday. If you guys missed that live show on yesterday, the bulk of the, I wouldn't say the bulk of the self-care, but I'm getting on this. I'm going to take you guys upstairs in a second. We're going to talk about a lot of different stuff in terms of getting ready for bed. But the bulk of the self-care is in the morning, because even my exercise is in the morning. Meditation oftentimes is in the morning. Grounding oftentimes is in the morning, because if I can get all of this stuff in quickly, then there's a lot less, detours that happen later on in the day. For those of you who try to exercise in the evening, you know what I mean. When you try to exercise in the evening, how many different things can happen in the day to where you're not going to make it to that exercise class? Whereas if you wake up first thing in the morning and that's one of the first things that you do is exercise, you're a lot less likely to have other stuff happen in the day that's going to prevent you from doing that. So a lot of this stuff is in the morning. So drink a full glass of water, get outside, get the sunlight in your eyes, delay your caffeine if you can, by 30, I want to say, I probably do by 30 minutes. By the time I'm outside, I get the light in my eyes for about 10 minutes. I'm brewing my tea. I go upstairs. I dry brush. Let me see if I have my 32-ounce container. I don't know why, but I've got like this, my skin right here is a little bit itchy. I feel like I've got something in. This is my 32-ounce container that I drink of green tea. So I will brew this while I'm outside with the sunlight, while I'm running the cold bathtub, right? While I'm dry brushing, I'm brewing my tea. I'm not having it yet, but I'm brewing it. So I boil the water, I brew my 32 ounces of green tea, I dry brush as I'm filling the cold water into the bathtub. Remember I talked about yesterday, you do not need to spend money to go to like a cryogenic therapy or to buy a cold plunge pool. The water from your bathtub comes at about 50 to 60 degrees, which is ideal for a cold plunge. And the reason why we do the cold plunge in the morning as opposed to the evening is because it heats your core up. When we wake up, our body needs to heat up to a certain degree, so it heats up by a little percentage. That helps to wake us up, and it's counterintuitive. So when we cool down our bodies by sticking ourselves in a cold plunge, and for me, I stick myself in that cold plunge every morning. I did it this morning as well for 2 minutes and 48 seconds, which is the entire length of the Rockies theme song, because it pumps me up to actually get into the water up to here. And it's straight out of my bathtub. So that's a 2 minute and 47-second bath in the morning. I don't know how long your guys' warm showers are, but I would imagine they're not 2 minutes and 47 seconds. I would imagine they're a little bit longer than that. So I'm saving money and I'm helping my health as well. It boosts your metabolism. It increases circulation. It really helps to solidify that sleep-wake cycle, because now we've really started heating our core. Cold water, remember what I talked about yesterday, you guys? If you missed that live show, it's in my main feed, and you can always find it too on my highlighted story, and my highlighted stories under live shows. So I try after the Saturday shows and the Sunday shows to post it in my story and then highlight it in a story so you guys can easily find those links to past live shows that I did. Okay, so remember what I talked about yesterday. If you missed it again, it's on my feed or in my story highlight. When you step into a cold plunge, although it feels freezing on the outside, our body is always fighting for that homeostasis, that balance, right? So what that does is it stimulates all of those processes necessary to heat up our core and to keep our core warm. And in doing that, really wakes us up. So that's why cold plunge in the morning is so much better for your sleep later on that night. I step immediately from a cold plunge into a red light therapy session for 10 minutes. Red light therapy, as I talked about yesterday, decreases inflammation. It helps with fine lines and wrinkles. Yes, it's all the pretty stuff for the skin. Melasma, fine lines and wrinkles, skin tone and texture, increases circulation, but it's also the health of the whole body. So decreasing the inflammation in your body. Inflammation is the root cause of all chronic diseases. There's always an inflammation part of that, and red light therapy decreases the inflammation in your body. So a lot of health benefits with red light therapy. If you can only buy one skincare device, I always say buy a red light therapy device first, because not only is it like just the aesthetic stuff, but it's the health of your entire system, even wound healing, which is why when I do my microneedling, which I'm going to do a microneedling session on my tummy after this and share that to my subscription club. But when I do something like that, you know, to be able to do a red light therapy session and double up on my red light therapy for a number of days after that really speeds up the healing of stuff. So red light therapy session right after that, and then I go into my skincare, which is those 3 phases of skincare. All great skincare routines have the wash, treat, and protect. So in the morning, I wash. I'm treating it with vitamin C, which is an antioxidant. I love the balloons. Yay. That made me happy. And then I'm protecting it with a sunscreen. So that's in the morning. And then my extra stuff, you know, the weekly protocol that I have on how do I incorporate all those skincare gadgets in a weekly way that is less than 30 minutes a day just on skin, that you can just DM me the word protocol afterwards and you'll get that calendar. So normally I'll do all of my topical skincare before I'll do, on my body at least, before I'll do whatever treatment I'm going to do on my face. If I'm going to do microneedling that day or radio frequency or microcurrent, it's very quick. I can get those sessions in very quick. Hormones come next in the morning, right? If you are a midlife woman and you are not on hormone replacement therapy, please go to my story highlights and watch some of the live shows that I've done on hormone replacement therapy. I just had a client yesterday who had all of the symptoms of estrogen deficiency. You know, hair was thinning out, couldn't sleep at night, didn't matter what they ate, they just kept gaining weight, irritable, brain fog, for everything that you could imagine. It was because she was literally afraid to be on hormone replacement therapy because of those old studies that linked hormone replacement therapy with breast cancer. It's a very, very, very rare for that to happen, and you have to have like genetic predisposition for a certain type of breast cancer. So those studies really kind of fucked us up a little bit, women getting the treatments that we wanted. So make sure you watch that live show. After that, I go straight into a workout. Whether I go to a gym or I do it at home, working out in the morning is way better for you to be able to sleep at night. Because when you're working out, you're burning up all those adrenals, and you're also heating your core. So anytime you're heating your core up, it wakes you up a little bit. So our core heats up naturally as we wake up. Just think about it like the sun. When the sun gets warmer in the day, we're really awake. So when the sun goes down and the sun starts getting cooler, that's when we really want to go to sleep. So making sure that you're working out in the morning, if possible, is going to be much better for your health. And again, there's not all those roadblocks that happen, right? Oh no, let me just scroll down here a little bit. There's not all those somebody said, I'm in Scotland, I think my water comes out colder. That's fine. Listen, it looks really cool when you see the people on Instagram who they're trucking through the snow and they're hatcheting through the ice and all of that stuff. It looks cool. Totally not necessary, right? Totally not necessary. You can do that in your cold shower at home, right out of your house, or in the bathtub. I'm not sure about which one was that. Think of getting a red light sauna. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, now I'm back to regular. So then it's like, once I'm in my gym clothes, it's working out. And remember, the way that you work out changes with age, because you do not want to be killing yourself on a treadmill or doing tons of cardio. You're going to eat into your muscle when you get older. We lose muscle mass with age, we lose flexibility with age, and then and balance. And that is what really kind of messes up our mobility as we get older. So strength with, weight-bearing exercises will help with bone density, will help with muscle mass, will help with metabolism. So strength training, flexibility, I choose yoga with that, but there's a lot of different stretching stuff at home that's for free. You can get a lot of workouts for free these days. You guys, it doesn't cost a lot of money. You just need to make a plan to do it. And then, so the strength and flexibility equals mobility when you get older. So I talked about things like coupling things up in terms of brushing your teeth on one leg. So listen, you've got a choice with everything, and everybody's got the same amount of time. I don't have extra time in my day. I work my ass off, you guys. I am like very, very, very busy, and I've got 4 grown children. I've got 3 of my own grown children. I've got a stepson. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on, but you've got a choice, right? You can brush your teeth like normal while you're scrolling on your phone, or you can pick up one leg and brush your teeth and work on your balance, right? Because we lose balance as we age. So doing something like that, brushing your teeth on one leg, you're also working on that core strength. So it's just a matter, you guys, of multitasking. We're so used to, especially in America, multitasking with everything, yet we forget we can multitask when it comes to self-care. So I did this post, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. No, it's not true. I did a story that followed me through the day on all the self-care that I did. And I had a lot of comments on that. And then I did a Reels that kind of told what I did in the morning. And the comments were, gosh, if I could only have the time, or if I had the time and the money, or she must do this all day. And I don't. So for those of you who still believe that, look at yesterday's live show and you'll see. Sometimes I was standing that way at work, but only for a few minutes. Try doing that even with your eyes closed, even if you're not brushing your teeth. Get on one leg. You can see my leg is really high in the air. But get on one leg and close your eyes. Because if you can balance, see, I can't even do it for that long. It's very difficult to do with your eyes closed, but think about the balance work that happens with that. Because as we age, we kind of lose that balance ability. So making sure that you're working on that as well. That was a good point. And so then we went to how I break my fast. I did not talk about food yesterday too much because somebody said, can you recommend a microneedling pen and numb? When I get done with this, when I post this to my main feed, if you want any of those protocols, the microneedling protocol, the skincare protocol, the younger eyes protocol, whatever those protocols are, just put those in the comment section after I post this, or you can DM me and then that will end up getting to you. So I talked a little bit about intermittent fasting. I did that Instagram live show with Cynthia Thurlow on my God, I gotta slow down. I did that live show with Cynthia Thurlow on intermittent fasting. So if you missed that, that's also in my story highlights. But I don't eat until about 1 o'clock. So I talked about that a little bit yesterday, and I break my fast with a mushroom coffee, which I'm having right now. And then I have as many vegetables as I can possibly consume. I'm not worried about protein when it comes to lunch because there is protein in so many things, and we're in the middle of a high protein diet fad. I'm sorry, you guys, it's true. Look at some of my past live shows that I've done on protein and how we are getting usually around 3 to 5 to 6 to sometimes 10 times the amount of protein that we need, and excess protein is stored as fat. It also hinders a little bit of autophagy, which is that restructuring of the damaged protein that we already have. So with my lunch, I'm not worried about am I getting a protein source? I'm eating so many vegetables, and a lot of times there's a little bit of tofu in that as well. So I'm getting some protein with that. But there's protein in vegetables. There's protein in anything that you consume, except for water. But there's protein in any food. Every single food has protein. So if you're somebody that counts your macros and all of that stuff, that's not something that I do. I think that causes people to obsess about food. I think it causes people to consume more food than what is necessary. There's no rule when it comes to the human body that says every meal needs to be a certain amount of protein and a certain amount of carbs and it's just so crazy to me. That's not how the human body is made. That's not what we're supposed to do. Now, when you're wanting to lose weight, if you are, and I oftentimes coach this, doing a crowding out method, where if you are eating a bunch of crap that you know you shouldn't be eating, processed food, not real food, things that, you know, come in a box or a bag, things that are marketed to us. Nobody's marketing celery to us or broccoli, right? They're marketing packaged processed foods. It's difficult for me to count my food like that. Christine, I'm telling you, I'm freeing you right now. You don't ever have to count your food like that. If you are eating food, and hopefully the most colorful, nutrient-dense food that you can find, I guarantee you you're getting enough protein. Ask your doctor when was the last time that they treated somebody for low protein. They'll say never. It doesn't happen. If you're eating enough, the people that have to worry about low protein, if you're over the age of 65, you want to add extra protein in. If you are somebody who is like a competitive athlete, like you play for the NFL, you want to add extra protein in. I lift weights, my muscles are not made from the protein that I'm eating. It's made from me tearing the muscle fibers in the gym. I need an adequate amount of food and fuel to be able to repair that muscle. But we're way over consumed. We're way over, not consumed. We're overly, you know, just bombarded with the amount of protein that we need. And that's not what the science is saying. Your average amount of protein that you need is 0.33 grams per pound of body weight. That's a third of what a lot of people, even health coaches, are preaching. They're preaching a gram of protein per body weight. That's not how you live longer. It might be how you, if you want to crowd out the processed food, add protein, you're going to lose weight. If you want to crowd out the processed food, add vegetables and fiber, you're going to lose weight because you're exchanging something. So a lot of people think, oh, I get on a high protein diet, it's working, I'm losing weight, I need to make sure I'm getting my protein. It's only because you've crowded out the shit that you were normally eating. That's why you're losing weight. Eating protein does not make you lose weight. Does that even make sense, everybody? Eating protein does not make you lose weight. It doesn't. Okay, anyways. So this is kind of where we ended yesterday, which was lunch. Helps with high thyroid, mid-late 40s. I wasn't sure with what helps with high thyroid. But anyways, that said, there's a market. Yeah, there's a market for protein. Whenever somebody puts something on a cereal box, if they're putting protein, the amount of grams of protein on a cereal box, my head always goes to, what are they trying to sell me? And if they're jumping on this bandwagon, how much excess are we really getting? And it comes to, you know, the truth is we're getting a lot of excess protein. And excess protein gets stored as fat, just like everything else. Okay, so lunchtime, like I said, I have as many vegetables as I can. I want to, let me see if I can bring you guys with me. And let me see if I can do this. I want to talk a little bit about supplements because that's when my supplements come in. Let me see if I can just go and grab them. Hold on 1 second. 1 second, everybody. No, you know what? I'm going to bring you guys with me. It's too much. There's just too much to do. I'm going to bring you guys with me. Let's see if I can get this to, there we go. If it'll kick on. All right. Hold on. Hold on. This light seems very harsh, doesn't it? Is this too bright, you guys? It feels like I'm way overdone here. Is that better? Feels a little bit better. Okay. So, sorry. All of a sudden I froze. I'm like, what the heck happened? Okay. So I just consumed for lunch. We're talking about, for those of you guys who just jumped on, we're talking about self-care and how do you incorporate all of the science behind self-care without having to spend all day doing it, without having to spend a ton of extra money, because there's priorities here. And so this is what we're talking about. So I talked yesterday about my whole morning routine, and how do I get that morning routine in such a way that I'm out the door within an hour after waking up. We're now at lunch, so I just consumed all of the amount of vegetables that I possibly can, and usually, like I said yesterday, that's like a stir fry. For me, it's a stir fry or it's a vegetable soup, because in that way, at least when I'm at home, I can get everything in that I want and multiple different types of vegetables. So if I do a stir fry, oftentimes it's asparagus and broccoli and bok choy and mushrooms and maybe a little black rice in the bottom or some quinoa in the bottom before I put the vegetables on, a little tofu. Like, it changes all the time depending on what's in season, what I can find organically grown. And then it's as many as I possibly can stick in my body. Would love to know your soup recipe. I can give you the base of that, Charlotte, because it really changes depending on what's in season and what's in my refrigerator. So if I get something from farmer's market that I think like, oh, I'd love to make a soup out of this, it's going to change. But the base is always a vegetable base. It always has onions and garlic and things like that in it. But then it's celery and carrots and broccoli and asparagus and tofu and mushrooms, and it just kind of depends. Think of a stir fry, but in vegetable form. And then sometimes I'll even puree the whole thing. Okay, we just finished with the whole thing of lunch. I'm gonna get my vitamins out. I'm gonna talk about first, I'm not trying to sell you guys anything, but I wanna tell you this. If you don't have a multivitamin, you're missing out, because I used to believe as a health coach that we did not need to have supplements, especially me, who eats so many vegetables. Like, you would think I get every supplement that I possibly need through the food that I eat, because my diet is pretty spot on. It's not like I don't cheat. I would say this. What I consume in terms of the healthy is so good that it makes up for the bad shit that I consume, or at least it kind of helps a little bit. You need a multivitamin, okay? This is mine. This is Nutramax. I take 2 of these with lunch and 2 of them with dinner. It's a foundational kind of vitamin. So this is not what you're going to find in a grocery store. It's not what you're going to find a lot of times even in a vitamin store. Very bioavailable, tons of research on this. If you missed that live show that I did with Matt Major, who's a vitamin specialist, make sure you go back and look at that live show, because there's so much information in there. And I used to think, like I said, that we don't need a multivitamin, and I have changed my mind in the last, I want to say 5-6 years, because the way that our food is being produced is not the same. And we've got a lot more things that are wreaking havoc on the good stuff that we do consume. So a lot more oxidative stress, a lot more, free radicals, a lot of other stuff, chemical stuff, toxic overloads in our bodies, and the way that the food is produced. If nothing else, you need a really good multivitamin, okay? So I start with a multivitamin chart. So we have to think about it in terms of foundational health, right? So foundational health when it comes to healthy aging. If Darnell puts it in her body, I know it's good. I do. Yay, creative candy. It's true. Honestly, it's funny that you say that, because the reason why I came up with my supplement line in the first place was because I wanted to know exactly what I was putting in my body. I wanted to make sure that what was going in my body was not toxic. It did not have fillers in it. It did not have heavy metals in it. That it was the best sourced kind of materials that I could get. And that encouraged me about 10 years ago to come up with a vitamin line. And I've just kind of revamped the whole thing. So I have a whole healthy aging vitamin line. You guys can DM me the word supplements, or you can go on my linked tree. Right now, it's 20% off of everything, but it's like, I'll give you the code in just a second, because it's another product that I'm going to talk about. So I've got my multi. I then take my fish oil. I haven't eaten yet, so I can't take this. You know what? Let me do this. I'm gonna get a little bowl, and I'll show you. Hi. Okay. So I will take 2 of these. These are 4 a day. They're in a capsule form. This is the Nutramax. But I would take 2 of these. I have to wait until after this show to eat because I wouldn't want to take these on an empty stomach. I'm going to put them in here so you guys can see what it would all look like. The Cardio Max, this is a fish oil. This is not the fish oil you can get at Costco, you guys. It's very, very different, the way it's sourced and stuff. So a fish oil, why do we need a fish oil? For our cardio health, right? For our heart health. That's why it's called Cardio Max. And this is a pure omega-3. So I do that. I do an Osteomax, which is a K2D3. So this is a D3 vitamin. So it's that happy vitamin, but it has K2. And K2 works, I take 1 of these. K2 works, we're talking about bone health now. So we just talked about our overall health, you know, our overall nutritional foundational health. I'm going to leave these out. With a multivitamin. Then we talked about our heart health with an omega-3. Now we're talking about our bone health. Ooh, also I'm going to talk about this for memory. Now we're talking about bone health. So this is Osteomax. This is a K2 as MK7. That's important because there's a lot of K2D3, but as MK7 is like honestly, next level. Any idea why magnesium would give me headaches? I've tried full spectrum. I'm going to take you guys upstairs and I'm going to show you the magnesium that I use. That's an interesting, again, you guys, the FDA only loosely guides for supplements. And so if you're getting a headache from a product, I'd immediately stop taking that product. That would be my personal thing because you don't know what's in it. You don't know what's in it. There's oftentimes, have you ever seen like a vitamin C tablet that is, let's say you have a vitamin C, I'm just going to give this as an example. Have you ever had like a vitamin that says like, I'm just going to say like, if it said this is 50 milligrams of vitamin C, and then there was another one that said this is 50 milligrams of vitamin C. How is that possible if there's not other shit that's going into that? You got to think about that, right? So vitamins and supplements are supplements. It's not like, you know, a piece of chicken or a lettuce that the government is really kind of making sure that we're not getting sick. It doesn't have to substantiate the claims on the bottles. There's a lot of vitamins out there that are just crap. You guys are just peeing it out. How old is this woman? Looks 60s to me. Great. Now I'm 56. I'll be 56, but whatever. I'm not aiming to look younger, you guys. I'm aiming to live longer and to be as healthy as I possibly can. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay, so we did the K2D3. Like I said, when you're talking about your bone health, this is Osteomax. When you're talking about your bone health, it's not just calcium you need. And it's not just vitamin D that you need. And it's not just like heavy lifting that you need. If you're taking calcium supplements or you're eating a lot of like spinach and stuff that has calcium in it, you need to make sure that that calcium is going into the actual bone, right? So it could be, you could be having calcium and it could be calcium deposits in your veins and arteries, which is not good. So what the K2 does is it directs the calcium into the bone, and our bones get more brittle with age, especially with a decline in estrogen. So when estrogen starts declining in midlife, we start losing bone density by 1 to 3% a year. That's why hormone replacement therapy, you guys, is way more important for your health than what you would think. This is not like, you know, we've learned a lot about menopause and hormone replacement therapy just in recent years, and menopause is having its moment. Thank God, it's about time, right? It's about time. But there's a lot of other health benefits of being on hormone replacement therapy. So make sure you look at those live shows. I did one with Dr. Decker. I did one with Dr. Barbara Taylor. I did 2 with Dr. Barbara Taylor. Those are on my reels for the live shows. So far what we have is we've got a multivitamin, and you don't have to buy mine. I'm just saying, It's not the same. Don't think that you can get this stuff in CVS because not all supplements are made equally, and mine are like next level. So you need a multivitamin, you need a fish oil, you need a K2D3, and the best one you can find is as MK7. Your body utilizes this way more, okay? And this one, remember, is for bone health. So you need the K2D3 for bone health, but you want it directed into the bone. Okay, so that's the next one that I take. These are all foundational, you guys. So this is another one. This is a super K. This is a K2 plus K1, but this doesn't have a D3. This is one that I was trying out. Yeah, this is not, I wouldn't do this one. I was trying to give you another option besides mine. I wouldn't do this one. I'm just trying to use that up. Okay, what are the other ones that I do like on a date, like every single day? You want to make sure that you can have an antioxidant. So you can do a turmeric. Let me grab my little sheet. Hold on one second, you guys. Hold on. Yeah. So for an antioxidant, you can do like, this is where you got to really spice up your food, right? Because spices of any kind are antioxidant. But especially things like the orange ones, right? Cinnamon and nutmeg and turmeric. All of those, if they're bright orange colored, are super good for antioxidants. So you could do something like a turmeric. If you guys are wondering, because turmeric had its moment, like, you know, I don't want to say a couple years ago, where all of a sudden that was the hot new thing. If you're wondering why you are taking these, because sometimes we forget why we are taking our vitamins, right? If you're wondering why you're taking something like turmeric, it is an antioxidant. It's helping with oxidative stress. It's helping with those free radicals, to neutralize the free radicals, right? Want to know what else helps neutralize free radicals? It doesn't cost a dime. Getting outside barefoot, grounding. That helps neutralize free radicals. Let me just explain briefly how that works. And inflammation, yes. When you step outside on the earth, which maybe I can take you along and we can do that a little bit later, but when you step outside on the earth, our earth is negatively charged. It just is. We as human beings are positively charged. And in times of high stress, we can lose electrons, which gets us uber positively charged, right? That's free radicals. That's what can turn into oxidative stress. That's what can turn into inflammation and chronic disease. Step out onto the earth, and the earth acts as a sponge, neutralizing those free radicals. And it's like an energy exchange. We're made to walk outside barefoot. The problem is, I'm going to show you right now. The problem is rubber-soled shoes. These are my UFAs. This is my recovery shoe. I wear these sometimes around the house. But rubber-soled shoes, with the invention of rubber-soled shoes, we can go years without actually touching the earth. And so that's why we've got this chronic kind of free radicals and stress level that's happening, is the way that we are living has changed with technology, right? We're getting outside less. We're putting our feet directly on the earth less. We've got more pollution. That's why you want something like an antioxidant, like a turmeric, right? For me, and mine are next level, but I do this antiox next level. I'm not saying you have to do this one, but this provides cellular antioxidant support, and it's beyond. So again, not all are created equally, but that's what it does. You're really kind of really trying to help reduce those free radicals, and it's free if you go and step on the earth. Okay? All right, so we're still on, we are still on our whole thing. I have to take an iron pill. I don't know why, probably because of the thyroid stuff that I've had, you know, that's genetic. And, you know, if you've got hypothyroidism, which I do, I'm not, characteristically, when you look at me, you wouldn't think, oh, she's hypothyroid, but I am genetically. And so if you are hypothyroid or you have thyroid issues, which a lot of midlife women, they start having those issues, it's really difficult to absorb iron. from food, or it's a little bit more difficult. So I always add an iron pill. I'm just giving you guys my daily, like what I do. There's other stuff that I'll talk to you guys about, but that's the daily. And then of course the hair, skin, and nails. So I want to talk to you a little bit about this and collagen. One second. I want to talk to you a little bit about that. You guys get to see inside my messy cupboard. And collagen. So collagen is something that I do every single day. There's a lot of different collagen on the market. The one that I like, the one that I use is third-party tested independently. A lot of the ones on the market that are powders, your body doesn't absorb them as much. This is hydrolyzed collagen. Hydrolyzed means that it's broken down for you into a smaller component that your body can then absorb. It doesn't mean that when you drink collagen or you take collagen, it's automatically going to go to your skin. There's lots of different processes that happen. When we're in our 20s, our collagen levels kind of decline because we're done growing. Think about it when you're a kid and your skin is growing. How much collagen and supportive structure does that need? A lot, right? A lot. But then we stop growing and our collagen levels slow down. And so what I do and what I've learned to do over the years is to trick my body into producing more of its own collagen. And I do that through microtraumas, right? You can do that through lifting weights. You can do that through microneedling. You can do that through radio frequency. There's a lot of different ways to create microtraumas, but think about it as if when you were a kid and your skin was still growing and it needed that, or when you fell down on your bicycle and you skinned your knee, that signaled your body to go and create that scab and to create that structure. And that's part of the microtraumas that we do when we do things like microneedle, which I'm going to do a little bit later on my tummy. So collagen I normally do like a tablespoon of this right before I eat lunch, or right after I eat lunch, and a tablespoon in the evening. And it gives me all of the precursors that I need for my body to make its own collagen. Now this is where this comes in, the hair, skin, and nails. I want to tell you guys a little bit about this. This is super, super effective. It has key ingredients to turn on the engines for my body to produce collagen. So now look at this. I've got collagen, hydrolyzed collagen. I've got all that stuff in my system. My body's still digesting it. It's not like it stays like this. Your body still digests. It's still got to break it all apart. But what I've given myself is the precursors necessary to build, to have my own collagen, right? What I need now is to create those microtraumas so that my body knows, hey, I need collagen. Then I have the precursors there. This turns on the system for your body to make collagen. So you see how the combination of these is like, that's next level. This is next level collagen. Yeah, so there's a lot of this. This also has biotin in it. It's 5,000 mcg of biotin and choline that's stabilized. And it's like, it naturally helps nourish our body's beauty. Oh my God. I need a little bit of coffee. Hold on one second. And no, we're not talking about the caffeinated coffee. We're talking about my mushroom coffee. Just got a little bit of a dry mouth. Hold on. I love that. Okay, this is independent, third-party tested, reduces fine lines and wrinkles, strengthens the hair, skin, and nails, supports connective tissue and joints, all of that stuff. So it does all of that and turns on those mechanisms for us to produce our own collagen. And then I've got the collagen precursors hydrolyzed already in my system. And then I do a little bit of microneedling to do some microtrauma, and we're looking at, that's like a knockout punch. 1, 2, 3 with the microneedling, forget about it. That's like next level. This is every single day. The hair, skin, and nails is every single day. I mean, the collagen is every single day. If you want my favorite collagen, when I get done here, not now, but when I get done here and I post it to my main feed, you could just DM me the word collagen. I'll give you my list of the ones that I love. Trust me, this is the best one on the market. This is what all the research is on, and a lot of different collagen companies use Modere's research as like, look, collagen works, but their formula is not the same. So this is hydrolyzed collagen. It's the best on the market. When something else comes along, I will be the first to jump ship and I will bring you guys along with me. I'll tell you all about it. This is next level though. I'm telling you right now, next level. Okay, so what else am I doing on a daily basis? Where is it? Primadine. This is great. This is made in Japan. This helps with autophagy. So I can't even begin to tell you all of the, I want to do like a whole live on this. In fact, I know somebody who went to gerontology, got their gerontology degree the same time that I did. She has a podcast now. I might have her on. But this helps with cognition. It helps with hair growth. It helps with a lot of different stuff. It helps with autophagy, which is that restructuring, like I talked about, of those damaged proteins, getting rid of the zombie cells, helping with the senescent cells, all of that stuff. Primadine is one of those. It's like, I do this every day. And this is by Oxford Healthspan. So I can give you some more information on this if you want. Let's see, what else do I do on a daily basis? I think that's, oh, and the Easy Digest. This is, listen, if you are somebody that you mostly eat vegetables, I am not vegan, you guys. I follow what I would call more of a predominantly plant-based, microdosing my meat. I am a high fiber girl, so I am constantly trying to get colorful fiber into my diet. Colorful fiber. Fiber comes from plants. All of those polyphenols, so the green tea, all of the green leafy stuff. But if you're somebody who doesn't have a ton of meat in your diet, a B12 supplement might be up your alley. This one is just now empty. This was a chewable one that I like. But that said, a really good multi already has that in that. Okay, Easy Digest. I want to talk about this a little bit because I've been having tummy problems. I just want to see what else I got here that I was... Okay. That's all of the main ones that I do besides the probiotic. When I talk about like on a daily basis, that's probably I do the probiotic lean. I have the Meta Health here, which I guess I can tell you guys a little bit about that. I want to tell you guys a little bit about that actually. And then I'm going to do my fiber. Okay. So on a daily basis, now, if you guys have, that's by far the best collagen, way better than any powder. Yeah, for sure. I've been having some tummy issues, you guys. And for those of you who know that I'm having some issues with kind of a family crisis with one of my kids, when you're in that fight or flight mode under high stress, and I have all those tricks for stress. You know, I did a whole live on how to de-stress now, science-backed things that really help you to kind of kickstart that parasympathetic nervous system to that rest and digest that kind of help you calm down. One of them, the most notable and the most research is on, is that physiological side, that double inhale, and then a longer exhale. Kind of did that wrong. I'm going to try that again. You inhale, and then when you're full, you inhale a little bit more, and then you do a longer exhale. That is a physiological sigh. I talked about that in a live I did. Look, I already feel calm. I talked about that in a live I did on stress reduction. Again, that's in the highlighted stories, so make sure that you check that out. But in times of high stress, have you ever had you're about to give a speech or something, and your tummy is just like, you feel like you're going to throw up, you're a little bit nauseous? Does anybody get that way? Where your tummy is like, I'm stressed out right now and my tummy is just a little bit uneasy. That's happening to me because I am at a high stress level with one of my kids. That's one of the things that's happening to me. It's more difficult for me to eat these days. So this is really helping me. Also, if you're one of those people that every time you eat, your stomach feels uneasy. Do you ever get that? Like, you eat something, it doesn't matter what it is, you get bloated. You feel like, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable after you eat. Your body's not supposed to be uncomfortable after you eat. Eating is a normal thing for us. Let me just scroll up here. Oops, cancel. Eating is a normal thing for us. Our bodies are not supposed to, like, we eat a little bit of food and all of a sudden we have gas and then our body, our tummy is like so bloated down here. That's not normal. There's something going on. Bloated, Christine, yeah, this helps with bloating. In fact, all of my supplements are 20% off now if you use the code NOBLOAT20. NOBLOAT 20. All of them are off, are 20% off, but it's because I just launched this product, and I launched this product when I started having issues with one of my kids that it's got me in a fight or flight. Would not wish it on anybody. That said, if I didn't have all these protocols in place for stress reduction, it'd be a disaster. It would be a disaster. I'm handling it, and I'm having things still stay a little bit of calm, but it is affecting my stomach. And in times of high stress, your stomach can get affected. So this is Easy Digest. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this product. Let me see if I have this. Yeah, it's $33.98. There's 90 pills in here, but it helps with all 3 phases of digestion. So whether you're sick to your stomach, whether you have gas or bloating, you feel uncomfortably full, no matter what you eat, this product helps with that. So you can do it before, after, or during a meal. It's bloating, gas, feelings of overly full. That's what this is. And so all of these are on sale now when you use that code NOBLOAT. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about metabolic health. This is not something that I do, but this is a product that I do, that I have, this whole weight loss bundle. Right now, obviously, I don't need that because it's a little bit more difficult for me to eat these days. So I have lost a couple pounds that I don't think is a good thing for me. I don't want to be too skinny. I want to be strong. And so I can tell that that's coming back with this. That's coming back with this because I'm able to kind of get my shit together and have my stomach sit well, right? But this is a great product because it does help with all of those. If you are somebody that is wanting to lose weight though, let's see where to go. This is the product that that is still on sale with those code NOBLOAT. And the Easy Digest is like an add-on, and the Crave Control that I talked about before is an add-on, and this is the one that mimics that Ozempic weight loss shot because it's berberine. So this is the MetaHealth, this is berberine. This will give you the same results as the weight loss shot, a little bit longer, a little bit healthier, so you're not gonna have rapid weight loss, but you will have weight loss substantial with berberine, and we mix that with the fibrine and with the probiotic lean, and this is what I was calling the Ozempic weight loss bundle. This is still on sale, you guys, for 20% off with that code NOBLOAT. It's not something that I take on a regular basis, but I have a lot of my clients on this, and a lot of my clients are losing weight on this, okay? So that's available. That's under a bundle of, it's called the Ozempic weight loss bundle. This, however, without the berberine, which is the main ingredient in the MetaHealth, these I do every day. I do every day. And this is, yeah, somebody said, do you have to take all 3 at the same time? No, you don't. In fact, you don't want to take all 3 at the same time. And I've had to like correct a couple of my clients who take this and then they get sick to their stomach. And I've tried to tell them, like, listen, when you get that weight loss shot, people get sick to their stomach. And only 17% of people, I'm sorry, not only 17%. There's 17% of people that are on those Ozempic and the Wegovy weight loss shots that cannot take them because the side effects are so intense that they can't get past the side effects. So those people, for the 17 people that are in metabolic distress, if your resting glucose, your fasting glucose level is over 90, this is you definitely need this. But the way that you would do this is you would take this fibrine in a cup of water. It's 1 scoop. It's a powder. And I do this like before I go out. If I'm going out to eat and I don't know what's going to be in my food and I'm not going to be able to do like all my veggies first, I might do a scoop of this in a glass of water before I have like a really high carb meal or before I eat like a piece of birthday cake or anything like that. This doesn't, you don't have to be in metabolic distress. This is just going to help mitigate the way that the sugar hits your bloodstream. So what this does is it creates a mesh inside the intestines. And what happens is when you eat like a piece of birthday cake and you've got this fiber in your system already, it creates a mesh so that when that glucose gets pulled through the small intestines into the bloodstream, this slows it down. And the slower that you can mitigate the way the glucose gets pulled through that intestines into your bloodstream, the less likely it's going to be stored as fat. Does that make sense? We want to slow down the way the glucose hits our bloodstream. Otherwise, it's overload for our system, and then we just naturally spit it out as fat here. We can't handle this, let's clear the bloodstream, and it gets stored as fat around the midsection. So if you've got like an apple shape and you're more round around the middle, that is metabolic distress. That is too much sugar in your bloodstream. Does that make sense? Because that's the easiest place for it to store is around the waist. So whenever I'm going to be eating something that's like I'm going to a friend's house, or it's Thanksgiving or it's a birthday or something, I'm going to start with this. I'm going to start with a scoop of this with a big glass of water after 15 minutes. Then I'll eat my food. What happens next is when you eat your food, I would do this on a full stomach. You can take 1 to 2 of these. You can take 1 of these at a time. And if you are pre-diabetic or diabetic and the weight loss shot does not work for you, you would take 1 in the afternoon and 1 at night with food. And this is the one that has the active ingredient berberine, which is the same thing that's in those semaglutide shots, which is the Wegovy and the Ozempic. But there's lots of other ones that are in different names that are coming out. But it's basically the same thing, right? It's a semaglutide. This is the same thing. This is berberine, which acts on those same entire pathways. So this would be with food, just 1 with food twice a day if your resting glucose, your fasting glucose level is over 90, okay? And then with the probiotic lean, what I like to do is, these are all sealed in these little foils. I usually have this upstairs, and I'll take this at night right before I go to sleep after all of my other supplements that I do at night. And then you've got all the good bugs on top, right? So you've just slowed down the way the sugar hit your bloodstream, made yourself more full, and you have helped your metabolic health and your insulin resistance with this. And then at night, you put the probiotic lean right at the top. So that's the way that I do it. Is there anything else that I would talk about here in terms of supplements? I don't think so. That's about it. Every once in a while, you guys, not all the time, but every once in a while, I'll do a little bit. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I might have been out of it. Huh, that's interesting. Or somebody didn't put it in the refrigerator like it's supposed to be. I was going to say, oh, I have it here. Sometimes, just like, if I find it's around the holidays or something, or I just want a little bit of extra greens in me, I'll do like a scoop of AG1, which is, again, like a foundational kind of product that it has 75 different vitamins. It's whole food sourced. So this is something that I also will occasionally add in my quest to get as much vegetables as I possibly can. Okay, let me go back over here. I'll plug you guys back in. Hold on. As an Easter present, could you put this on your main feed? I just got it. Yeah, I'm going to put this on my main feed today. Yeah. Normally my Sundays, let me see if I can get this back on. Normally my Sunday lives go to my subscription club, but that's only kind of if I'm doing a demo. This was like a larger live because we're talking about how do you incorporate healthy lifestyle hacks into your daily life, right? So what we've kind of gone through so far, we talked about on yesterday's live, all the morning stuff, right? Now we just went through the lunch, which is as many vegetables as I can eat, and then we're talking about a multivitamin, a K2D3, a fish oil for the heart. That's going to give you all of the foundational stuff, plus your heart health, plus your bone health, We're gonna talk about brain health when we go upstairs, and I give you the supplements there. You want an antioxidant? Again, you can use real food with this. Spice up your food, right? Just add a bunch of spices. Spices come from veggies. Spices don't come from meat. So anytime that you can add spices, remember they're like concentrated. So those are great antioxidants. Cinnamon, turmeric, nutmeg. In my, where did I put my coffee? In my mushroom coffee, oh here it is, it's hiding. In my mushroom coffee, I always put a dash of cinnamon, a dash of nutmeg. It's those orange rich kind of antioxidants that are great that you can add to anything, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be pill form. And then, of course, we're wanting, that's gonna fight the free radicals, and we're wanting the most nutrient-dense foods, are antioxidants. Vegetables such as kale and raspberry, goji berries, nuts, pecans, dark chocolate, beets, herbs, and spices. Those are all antioxidants. Oh, somebody just bought me a badge. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Which mushroom coffee do you like? I like Rise, R-Y-Z-E. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. R-Y-Z-E, but I also use a concentrated 50-to-1. There's a concentrated lion's mane mushroom that's a 50-to-1 that I sometimes will use too, and add like an extra little scoop. And the reason why I break my fast with that, because think about this. I've just gone all this time without eating, and then the first thing that I put in my body helps with brain health. Come on, that's good. Because the first thing you put in your body, your body sucks it up more, right? Because it's needing something. There's more where that's come from. Yeah, oh, thank you so much, so sweet. Okay, so that said, if I were to show you my snacks, you guys, which I'm going to, why not? Because the food doesn't end there, and the light's gonna come in and out. But if you just look at that's my bookcase. How satisfying is that? Talk about stress relief. This has been like a little bit of an art project for me, but that's not what I was coming over here for. This is in front of my TV. So let's just look at this for a second. When we're talking about antioxidants, first of all, walnuts are great for brain health. It's shaped kind of like a brain too, right? But it's great for brain health. In here are dried goji berries, great antioxidant. Dark chocolate, walnuts, pecans, pistachios, oops, just dropped something, almonds, in a homemade kind of trail mix. Sometimes I'll add another little nut on the side, like here I have walnuts or something, because if this starts getting a little too sweet for me, then I'll keep adding, so I can kind of keep messing with the proportions a little bit, so I can just take handfuls. This is always by the TV. So at night when I get hungry or snacky, I'm still doing something great for my body. In the paint palette, I love it. Yeah, here's the thing. Chaos, and I'm not the most organized person, but I will say this. There's something very soothing about having things color coordinated like that. So in stress reduction, I try to look for those little moments too where I can have something kind of just soothing to the eye. Okay, I'm gonna plug this back in. The light might go out for a second and then come back on. Okay, so those kind of stuff that you do to snack it's also super important, right? When we talked about weight loss, if your goal is weight loss, you would add those different supplements, right? You'd make sure that you're doing a fiber lean prior to 15 minutes before you're eating. You're going to make sure that you're doing like a berberine supplement that will help with that metabolic health and the insulin resistance. And let's see what else. What else do I got here? Then after that, so after I talked about the easy digest, and that has been, honestly, right now for my tummy, this easy digest, I just put another client on it, is a lifesaver, because sometimes when I'll eat now, because I'm under high stress or I'm worried about one of my kids, when I eat now, it's like it kind of feels uncomfortable, like, oh, I'm just not eating as much as I normally could because your digestion slows when you're in high stress. And this helps with all 3 phases of digestion. Again, it's on sale. You just would use the code NOBLOAT20. So NOBLOAT 20, and you'll get 20% off of this. And it really has made it to where I don't get as bloated or sick to my stomach. Yeah, it's like really kind of a lifesaver right now. And that's kind of why I decided I need to launch this product soon. So I launched it just, to be honest with you, to help my own stomach out. Will you post all this for us? Really not. Yes, I'm going to post this afterwards. I don't have a thumbnail because I normally just post this to my subscription club, but I am going to post this today to the main feed so you guys come back. So then what happens after I eat lunch? I work. Believe it or not, I actually work. And I work throughout the day. It's not like I don't work in the morning. I do all of the busy stuff in the morning, emails, this, post this, whatever it is. And then I'll have clients as well. But after lunch, I devote like 4 hours, usually from it could be from 1 to 5 or 2 to 6, something like that, where I'm being forward. I call it my forward work, right? Is no bloat good for constipation? No, I wouldn't do that for constipation. That you need water, and I would want to look at your fiber intake. A lot of people, I'd want to look at your water and your fiber intake. That would be the first thing, because if you're backed up, then the last thing you kind of want is like fiber, but you want fiber on a daily basis to help that from never happening again. The mushroom brand was Rise, R-Y-Z-E. If you just DM me mushroom, I'll send you the link. I think it saves you $5, but otherwise you can just go get it from the company. So afterwards, after I get done with my lunch, that's when I start really kind of doing forward work, what I mean by that is it's not just work that keeps me where I am, but work that pushes me towards a goal. And I work better with that after lunch. So if the morning is crammed with all of the self-care that I need, in terms of morning light, cold plunging, red light therapy, sometimes there's meditation involved, there's the Tumo breathing, while I'm taking the cold plunge. I multitask a lot of different things in that as well. Brushing my teeth on one foot. So I get a lot done. Ooh, I think that's our front door. I get a lot done in the morning, which brings me right up to lunch. But in the morning, I'm still doing emails. I'm still doing these things while I'm, getting through my day. And then after lunch is when I really do that forward kind of thinking. So what can I do to propel my business to the next level? What are the goals that I have? And how can I then focus on just this one thing? Instead of catch up, how can I focus on forward thinking? And that's usually for me between like 1 and 5 p.m. And when that happens, and that's like research, that's like writing this comprehensive healthy aging course that I'm working on right now. It's designing a Live Young retreat that I'm working on right now. It's a book outline. I'm busy. I got a lot of stuff that I'm doing. But that said, when you're sitting for 4 hours, there's a lot of different tricks that I use. Sometimes I'll set a timer for an hour and get up every hour. So you have to get up often. Sometimes when I get up to go to the bathroom, I'm like, okay, I just got up, I went to the bathroom. What can I do now? And I will literally do a few like push-ups on the bathroom counter. Why? Because you want to keep your circulation going, right? You want to make sure that you're not just sedentary. They have that whole thing, sitting is the new smoking. You want to make sure that you're at least getting your blood pumping. And so things like that, little things like that. You could be doing calf raises as you're washing your hands. Little things like that, if you know, those of you who work in an office, if you know there's large amounts of time when you're going to be sitting down, use that time when you have to get up for breaks to grab a glass of water, to go to the bathroom. Use that time to do something else. And don't just sit there for 4 straight hours. That's not great for you. Set a timer for every, hour, maybe 90 minutes. Get up and do something, all right? And then about 5 p.m., that's when I do my outdoor walk. So if I've sat for 4 hours, I've already done my weightlifting in the morning, but if I've sat for 4 hours, I want to try to get outside. So I want to say 75%, 85% of the time, I try to take the dog on the walk with my husband, and that's usually after 4 or 5 o'clock, around there. And it gets me out and forward, just like moving, right? Just moving a little bit forward. Moving forward. As opposed to sitting sedentary. So that's a great way to just like, okay, I need to take the dog for a walk. Time that to where, you get home from work, or you've clocked out at 5 o'clock and you can get outside for a little bit. And then it's like busy work, dinner prep, and then bedtime prep. My bedtime prep starts way earlier than what you guys would think. So if you want your bedtime to be seamless, you have your lights already down. So when I go out for my sundown exposure. So it is like, the sun is setting and it's low on the horizon. Just like you got out in the morning, you want to get out in the evening too, because a lot of things happen. When the sun is low on the horizon, psychologically, that tells your body it's time to wind down, right? The lights start going low on the horizon. Get outside. Even if you're traveling. When I used to travel a lot, getting outside for sunrises and sunsets, really helps solidify that sleep-wake cycle. So it's super important. And even on a daily basis, if you can get outside around the time where the sun is low on the horizon, and preferably barefoot on some ground, you're multitasking, you're decreasing those cortisol levels, you're decreasing that inflammation in your body, and you're also setting your sleep-wake cycle, okay? So that's a lot of prep work, because I'm prepping for dinner. I've already walked the dog, I'm prepping for dinner. As soon as I see that sun is going low, which in LA, the sunset is around 7-ish, 7:15-ish. I get outside, I let that light, I let my brain realize, oh, okay, the day is winding down, the lights go down. I then come inside, or usually before I go outside, and turn off all the overhead big cans. Because why? That simulates overhead sunlight. When we're talking about light towards the end of the day, you want all of that to be low on the horizon. So that's where you want to use sconces. You want to use things like, these aren't necessarily overhead, but you want to use lamps. What you don't want to use are these. See that? All these overhead lights, that's what you don't want to use. What do you eat for dinner? So for dinner, I eat a normal dinner. Again, if a normal sized piece of chicken, the chicken these days, like what are the things that they're feeding these chicken? Oh, hi, Toby, so sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm having a birthday party on the 13th, and the bartender just came, so she's gonna look and see what alcohol that we need. Anyways, when you have all this overhead light, it's simulating that the sun is still high in the sky. So if you're going outside to make sure that you're getting that low horizon sunset sun, you want to make sure you're not walking into the house and then getting bombarded with these overhead lights. So turn all of these off and start using like lamps and things that are like low on the horizon kind of light, because the overhead lights, any type of light like that, really kind of hinders your melatonin production. So you don't want to be outside towards sunset. You only need to be there for like 10 minutes. But you don't want to be outside towards sunset and then walk inside and you've just messed up all of the work that you've done. So before I go outside, I prep the whole house, right? So I switch to those low level lights, and then I walk outside, and then I get my sun exposure and come back in and make dinner. My dinner consists of, like you would normally think, I will eat a small piece of like a grass-fed steak. I will eat like a small piece of chicken. A normal piece of chicken is like this, you know, kind of like the palm of your hand. I won't eat all of that. And what I do first is the way I layer my food. This is not as important for me in the afternoon as it is for me in the evening, because when I'm eating in the afternoon, my lunchtime, it's all vegetables. There's nothing to, like, you know, there might be some black rice or some quinoa, but I'm eating the vegetables first, and it's not going to be something that's really going to spike my blood glucose level. But when I'm eating dinner, my daughter sometimes cooks dinner, or I'll cook dinner, or if we even go out or whatever. That's when I really will use the fiber lean. If I'm not in control of what I'm eating, if something's presented to me or whatever, I'll use the fiber lean 15 minutes before I eat, so it'll slow down the way any processed food will hit my bloodstream. But typically what I would do is I would start with a salad, and then I would eat all the vegetables on my plate, and then I would move to the protein, small amounts of protein and healthy fats, and then I would move to the starchy carbs, and then I would move to the sugars or fruits or anything like that. And by eating it in that order, I'm already creating that mesh, right? So when you're talking about real food, hold on one second, let me see if I can grab this. When you're talking about real food that you're just eating on a dinner plate, by eating it in a certain order, you're creating that mesh with the natural vegetables to slow down the way that the sugar hits your bloodstream, right? You can do that either through a fiber lean supplement, a fiber supplement like this, or you can do that by eating your vegetables first. Eat your vegetables first. Get all of that in. If you're eating something like lasagna and there's no, if there's no separating it, start with a salad. Start with a vegetable first and eat that first, or you can do a fiber lean. So when I go to a friend's house and I don't know what's for dinner, I'll do this right before I leave. I'll take a thing of this right before I leave, because you don't want to say like, I can't eat that, or, that's not how I roll. Like I'm pretty good, not pretty good, I'm very good about my morning stuff that gets me through lunch. So I'm not so harsh on myself about dinner. Does that make sense? I've gotten in everything I want to get in. That's like when I decide, like at the end of a workday, if I want to go out for a walk with the dog, I've already gotten in so much stuff in the morning that I'm okay if I miss a walk every once in a while because I'm on a roll with work. Because I've already got my exercise in the morning. Does that make sense, everybody? It's the same thing for dinner for me. I will eat meat at dinner. Not every day, but I will. I will eat whatever's presented in front of me if I'm going out to eat. I'll choose. Of course, I'll have like wild salmon. That's always like my first choice whenever I go out to eat. You have to assume when you're going out to eat that they're going to serve you a cube of butter. So I often say I have a dairy allergy so that they will omit the butter. But that's also like a little helpful trick. But when it comes to like dinner, I have a sensible dinner. I'm not eating crazy bad for you stuff. I'm not eating a ton of processed stuff, but I'm eating like real food. So single ingredient foods. What vegetable is it? Or a combination of vegetables? What type of protein source is it? And how much am I eating of that? And then I'll move on to starchy carbs like potatoes or things like that. And then I can even follow it up with fruit, or look, my daughter just made these cupcakes. Do you think I didn't have a cupcake? I did. I ate a cupcake. You know why? Because I had like a shit ton of vegetables that day. I already worked out. I already did, I did everything that I needed to do. I meditated, I grounded, I took a cold bath that tracks as a workout. A freezing cold bath, a cold plunge tracks as a workout. So I had a cold plunge. Then I went and lifted weights. Then I had all the vegetables I needed for lunch. So when my daughter makes a cupcake, I'm not going to say, "Ooh, no, Mama can't eat that." No. I'm going to have my salad first. I'm going to have my meats, a little bit of meat after that maybe. I'll have my starchy carbs after that. I might have a tiny bit of fruit. And then I might even have a cupcake. So I'm not as hard. It's guilt-free eating. That's right, Creative Candy. It's guilt-free eating by crowding out. So I often teach my clients this: crowd out the bad stuff with the good stuff. So that's why I throw all the vegetables that I possibly can throw in my body in the beginning of the day, because that's the one that I have more control over what I eat at lunch than I do at dinner. Because I'm oftentimes not going out to lunch as much as I am somebody else cooking dinner, or, you know, you meet friends out for dinner. I do, at least, more than I do for lunch. So my lunch all the way up through 1, 2 o'clock when I'm finished with lunch is honestly spot on in terms of longevity. Spot on. And the supplements. Spot on in terms of longevity. So that I'm more lenient with myself when it comes to dinner. Does that make sense, everybody? I'm a little bit more lenient than myself. I do have snacks after dinner. I like nuts and seeds and trail mix and popcorn. You saw my homemade trail mix over there. I like peanut butter on brown rice crackers or Dave's Killer Bread. Little peanut butter on, you know, like a brown rice cake with a little slice of banana and some chia seeds. Delicious. But I stop eating around 9. So my eating window is from 1 p.m. until 9 p.m. That's my eating window every single day. I have an 8-hour eating window and a 16-hour fast. And then after, you know, when I'm done with my day of working, I do like to watch a little bit of TV. TV is too good these days not to, like, you know, want to binge watch a show or watch a show with my daughter. So I do spend a couple of hours at night watching a little bit of TV. But I do a lot of heating pads. So at night, I'm sitting here with low levels. We'll oftentimes have the fireplace on. We'll have a little TV on. I'm heating myself with a heating pad to cool my body temperature a little bit. That's getting me ready for bed. Does that make sense? So I've got a lot of stuff that, like the beanbag things that you can stick in the microwave, or I've got some mats that I lay down that heat the body a little bit. Lights are low, so I'm already prepping my whole system. And then I'll have like a valerian root tea or a chamomile tea, something that relaxes me. Yeah, Netflix. There's so many good things. I just watched that documentary on Nickelodeon. Oh my God. Awful. And then my bedtime ritual. Okay, so I did an Instagram live called How to Get Your Best Night's Sleep Ever. It's in my story highlights. Please go and see that. And we talk about, I can go upstairs, but I think that I don't think I'm gonna go upstairs. Oh, maybe I will. I'm gonna take you upstairs and we'll end, okay? So let's see if I can do this. I might lose the light a little bit. Okay, you're coming with me. Hold on. Try not to get like so dizzy. Okay, so afterwards, I'm gonna come up, I'm gonna just take this off and I'll be just in regular light. Okay, so afterwards, I'm gonna come upstairs and we're about to end here, you guys. When I come upstairs, I already have all these overhead lights off. When I come upstairs, I already have all of the lights of my bedroom off. And I'll show you what I use. That is like what? Less than $1. See the red light? It's just a light bulb. You can get them anywhere. But it doesn't mess up your natural production of melatonin. So anytime you wake up in the middle of the night, you really need to make sure you don't have any lights on. You turn on a bathroom light, your melatonin is screwed up already. But speaking of melatonin, I do not take melatonin supplements. That is a naturally occurring hormone. I think that it really is overdone these days. You should never be taking more than like, I want to say 1 milligram. I wouldn't take more than that. Maybe 2 or 3, but the amount that people are taking of melatonin, and I don't have melatonin in our home. I don't really use it. I know it's really weird, but I will show you what I do use. I know that melatonin is a hot subject right now, but I don't feel, and the science is not showing that it's necessarily the best thing that we can do for our sleep. It's better if we can make our body do what it's supposed to do. Do what it's supposed to do. So here's what I take for sleep. I take my Neuromax, which is a magnesium supplement, and this is a magnesium threonate, which is the one that is really good for you. So I take 3 of these. This is more absorbed into your body. It crosses the blood-brain barrier, so really great for brain health. And then I take an L-theanine, and I take an apigenin. So these are the 3 that I am taking for sleep, nothing to do with melatonin at all. And these 2, it's not like, these are the best ones that I could find on these right now. If I find a brand where I'm like, I have a better brand for you, but these are the ones that I'm taking right now. But this one, everybody is lacking magnesium. This is really great for your brain because it is the one. You want magnesium threonate. You see that? You want magnesium threonate. If it's not, it's not getting absorbed by your body. But what I do, I'll come up, I'll take these supplements, and then I will do my hormone replacement therapy. So at nighttime, my hormone replacement therapy is progesterone under the tongue, estrogen under the tongue. Again, don't ask what I use because you guys need to talk to your doctor about that, right? I can't prescribe you hormone replacement therapy, but what I can say is that if you look at those lives that I did on hormone replacement therapy, you will see how important it is for health and longevity. It's not just like, oh, this is what our body's supposed to naturally do. We're also not supposed to naturally live to be over 100. That's modern medicine. So if modern medicine is going to make us live to be over 100, thank God, we have to take care of the hormones that have not yet caught up. They haven't yet caught up. Evolution takes time, people. They have not yet caught up, and maybe one day they will. But I do a DHEA on my wrist, which I can't put you down yet because I'm holding you. This is like a selfie live. But I do DHEA cream on my wrists. I do progesterone under my tongue. I do estrogen under my tongue. I don't do testosterone at night, but I do testosterone in the morning and midday. So that takes care of all of the sleep supplements that I do. Get back in the bathtub or warm shower. Not more than 10 minutes. But again, when you soak in a tub, and again, I only have, my bathroom's a mess right now, I apologize. I only have these lights that are like eye level lights on. I wouldn't turn on these overhead, the big bright overhead lights. Those all have to be turned off by the time the sun starts coming down, because those are going to really mess up your naturally occurring melatonin. Even when you turn a light on to go to the bathroom, all of a sudden your melatonin production stops. It's not great. So you want to keep the room very, very dark. Before I go to bed, I'll soak in a bathtub for about 10 minutes, a warm bath. So we did a freezing cold ice plunge or a cold plunge in the morning. And what that does is that heats up the core. It's counterintuitive, right? So it heats the core because you're freezing the outside in our desire to be for homeostasis, for that equilibrium. It will heat our core up. When you take a warm bath at night, not more than 10 minutes, but when you take a warm bath at night, what that does is it cools down your core. And our body needs to cool down in order to sleep better. And that takes us right up to the point when I go to bed. So all of the drapes are closed already before I come here. Because could you imagine, I just went downstairs and I have this whole system where I saw the sun, at least the diffuse UV rays in the that are setting in the horizon. And I came inside and I turned off all the lights and I only used the lights that are like at eye level. And then I get out of the bathtub and I'm having to turn down all of the lights up above. I just took myself out of that mode of relaxation. A couple more things I want to show you guys and then I'm going to get out of here. I always sleep with an eye mask for that reason, so that when I wake up in the middle of the night and I have to go to the bathroom, I'll still keep this up here so that the light is not coming in overhead. I'm still getting, if I get any light, it'll be from underneath. And it's not going to be as if it's overhead light. So I'll still walk around, go to the bathroom like this. I have a cooling mattress because for us midlife women, I'm telling you, the hot flashes are real. And if you are still having hot flashes, you're estrogen deficient. Go back to see your doctor, because it's not about like, you know, cheating off your neighbor's paper for your hormone replacement therapy. It has to do with your symptoms. And if you're symptomatic, if you're having insomnia, if you're having trouble sleeping, if you're waking up with night sweats, if you have brain fog, you're estrogen deficient. You need to go back to the doctor. But there's a lot of research on cooling your mattress at night and how that helps you stay asleep longer. So I have a cooling mattress. I use Chili by Uller. And I also, if I can show you, I don't think I can, have a grounding mattress. Let me see if I can show you this. So on my bed, on my bed is a grounding mattress. You see how this is plugged in? This plugs into the third port of any electrical outlet. So it's plugged in behind my bed. And what that does is this acts to ground my body throughout the night. And I can test it, and I don't have my tester right here, but if I got on there, I have a tester that shows that when I'm on my bed, I'm actually grounded to the earth. So that's another way to reduce your cortisol levels, reduce inflammation, and just add to your overall health. And that, my friends, is the end of my self-care. And no, it does not take all day. It just takes strategic ways to incorporate it into your already ordinary/extraordinary life. We have the same 24 hours, everybody. What are you going to do with it? I'll see you guys next week, Saturday at 12. All right, have a good day. Happy Easter.